Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I don't think I've ever done this tag, or maybe I did it once. I don't remember. But this tag has been around since forever, so I'll try to find the original video, but if I can't, then I'll link another video or something. I don't know. But yeah, this tag is just asking you some questions about the books you've read so far this year, and then books you're planning on reading for the rest of the year. So the first question is the best book you've read so far this year. This question was difficult because I have two books that I want to choose for this one question, but since I'm going to be talking about the other book a lot in the later questions, I'll just say that my favorite book so far this year is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I was really hesitant to read it because I'm not really interested in rap or anything to do with becoming a musician. But I picked this up because I greatly enjoyed her first book, The Hate U Give, and this book definitely follows more themes like that. It explores a lot of hard-hitting themes related to race and prejudice. If you read and enjoyed The Hate U Give, but you were hesitant to pick this book up because it doesn't really interest you, I think you should really pick this one up as well because it explores a lot of the same issues. Yeah, so I think this has been my favorite book so far of the year. So the next question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2019, and I haven't read a lot of sequels, but I think my favorite one so far has been In an Absent Dream by Seanan McGuire. I really enjoyed this Wayward Children series. My favorite book is not this one, it's the third one, but I like how each book explores a different character, but all the stories are still interconnected. You see these other characters in other books, but each book is focused on its own character, their own character's journey. And they're also really short reads, so if you're looking for some short novellas to read, this one is good. The next question is a new release that you haven't gotten to yet. I think for this question I'm going with The Chosen by Taran Matharu. I read his Summoner series either last year or the year before, and I really enjoyed all three of those books. They're middle grade fantasy books, and they have a lot to do with like friendship and just overcoming obstacles together, and it's pretty political too, and I really enjoyed that. It reminded me a lot of Pokemon and Dungeons & Dragons, and I say that every time I talk about that series, but his new series, I have no idea what it's about. I just know the book is called The Chosen, and I really want to read it because I really enjoyed his other series, and I hope it has a lot of the same things I enjoyed from the first series. The next question is your most anticipated for the second half of the year, most anticipated new release for the second half of the year, and I'm going to go with, of course, the new Trials of Apollo book that comes out in September or October, I think. Usually it's October, but I think this one's actually the end of September. Anyway, Rick Riordan, I will always love his books forever. So I have to read this. It's about Apollo. It's good. It's amazing. I love it. So yeah, I can't wait to see what other characters pop up in this book. Oh, also, I don't know if this is coming out this year. I really hope it is. But the last book in the second Mistborn series, the Wax and Wayne series, I need that book so bad. It's been forever since the Bands of Mourning came out, and I need the next one really bad. And he said it was going to be out last year. It didn't happen. Then he said it's going to happen this year, and I highly doubt that because it hasn't been announced yet. The release date hasn't been announced yet, and I just really want it to happen, please, soon. So yeah. The next question is the biggest disappointment of the year. So far that's been Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. I didn't really have high expectations for this because I thought the first book was just okay, but I couldn't even finish this book. This is a side note, but I'm really annoyed when I go specifically looking for books that don't have any romance in them, and books like this are on the list, even though there is glaringly obvious romance in it. They just don't get together in the book yet, or at least the first book. I don't know why people are like, oh, this doesn't have any romance in it. Yes, it does. They are romantically attracted to each other. That's romance. So yeah, anyway, that's not related to why this book is disappointing. I just didn't care about anything that was happening. I actually DNF'd this book at like 60% of the way through. I just didn't care. The world is not that interesting to me. The characters aren't interesting to me. All the laws and stuff that have to do with this new political dystopian system are not interesting to me. So I don't know why I even read so much of this book, or this book at all, when I thought the first book was just okay. But yeah, I'm done with this. I'm gonna get rid of this book soon. Next is Biggest Surprise. So this is the other book I was going to talk about for my favorite so far of the year. It's The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. Now, a couple years ago on BookTube, I had heard some buzz about this book, but not really anything like mainstream. Just some people who read it really hyped it up, but there weren't very many people reading it, I don't think. So I just randomly bought this from Book Outlet, I think a couple years ago, and I decided to read it this year, and it was so good. So this book focuses a lot on the main character and his struggles with his religion, as well as the fact that he is leaving high school and has to figure out whether he wants to go to college, which he can't really afford, but he still wants to go. And also his relationship with his friends and his parents, who have a lot of issues that he has to deal with. His dad went to jail for something terrible. And then there are two other point of view characters, Lydia and Travis. They're all great. I love all of the characters in this book. They're all amazing. This is, I think this is Jeff Zentner's debut novel, which is amazing to me because this book is so good. I didn't really have any expectations for this going in, and I loved it so much. I'm going to talk about this even more later, so yeah. The next question is your new favorite author. I didn't really know who to choose for this because I didn't read that many new authors so far this year, but I really enjoyed Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I'd be really interested to see what else she writes. I think she has another book out, and I haven't read that yet. The next question is your new favorite character, and I really don't know if I have a choice for this, because honestly, the only character I can think of that I could choose for this is Toma from Blue Flag, which I read on the Manga Plus app. For some reason, manga characters definitely stick in my head better than book characters. Maybe that's because I can see the characters on the page. But yeah, Toma from Blue Flag is just a sweet boy. So yeah. Next question is a book that made you cry. No books have made me cry, but two came close. The first is Blue Flag, which I just mentioned, that manga. And the next one is The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. This one came the closest to making me cry. I was sitting eating lunch in the dining center at school, listening to the audiobook, and I almost started crying in the middle of the dining center. I think if I hadn't been like in public, I might have started crying. And that's saying something because I literally never cry while reading books. Especially listening to an audiobook, that just wouldn't happen. And it almost did. If you needed any other reason to pick this up, it almost made me cry, so there you go. The next question is a book that made you laugh. I don't think any books made me laugh, but Silver Spoon always manages to get a laugh out of me, especially this volume. And this character right here is hilarious. I have a feeling some other people would be annoyed by her, but I think she's just so funny. Next question is the most beautiful book you read or acquired. I didn't acquire this book in 2019, but I did read it. I think this is actually the first book I finished this year, and it was The Ocean Was Our Sky by Patrick Ness. I love Patrick Ness. I think I've read all of his books. No, I haven't. I've read all of his YA books. I haven't read his adult books yet. But this book is really pretty on the outside, obviously. This is the inside hardcover. And then it also has illustrations throughout the whole thing. If you can see. Hold on. This is definitely the most beautiful book I have read so far this year. I don't know if it's the best written book. I don't think the story itself was that great, but the book itself is pretty. So, and then the last question is a book you need to finish by the end of the year. So I think for this one I'm going to go with The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, which I did start this year. I think if I don't finish it by the end of the year, I'm going to have to get rid of it along with the sequel that I own. Because, I don't know, it's been on my books I need to read this year list for like 3 years now, and I haven't gotten around to it. So, yeah. And I've started reading it. I'm like a third of the way through, and it's okay. It's not bad. It's just, I don't know, not holding my attention. So, we'll see. But yeah, that's everything for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any other tags you want me to do, let me know in the comments. I don't usually do tags because I don't like answering all the questions all the time, and I don't feel like I can do a tag if I don't want to answer all the questions. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!